So I just checked Kartra. We're in the same boat, it seems, for applications. But again, not deterred. Need to just double check in the Google ads, see kind of what's going on there, since the updated and badass looking landing page, like the edits that you and Jim have done over the last couple of days, it really pops now, I think. So,
can I take a minute and walk you through why I did what I did?
100%.
All right, let me get to those. I'm going to share my screen if that's all right.
Well, you can't do that. You just have to verbalize it.
Well, dude, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. All right. Can you see over here? You see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, so we now have the 4 landing pages. I'll show you in Google where I eliminated all the sites that all the pages in the site that we don't want them going to, so that Google will share clicks to our 4 landing pages without doing split tests. Part of the problem that we've been having with Google was the defined lander where we're sending them to. I don't know why I have to open that. Got them here. All right, so this was our first one, right? So reading through it, the way we had it set up prior, notice that we failed to have flow. We never directly answered the questions that we asked. We didn't respond to them. So I changed this up. Have others let you down before? People respond very, very well to the kindergarten directives. The only way that I can really kind of explain them. So we went from this, and we had just the claim your seat. So I threw our next season starts soon. Give a little bit of urgency to it. And then I put in a break, and I added this more kindergarten. Not sure. We'd love to tell you more. Watch the video. And did some changes here. So now they're going through a step-by-step process. We can close here, or we can close in the value section. So this one explains what the cohort is. Again, more kindergarten. And then I moved this up from the bottom just because it wasn't getting seen, man. This was a pretty awesome visual. So I bumped it up from the bottom just so it could be seen. And then our final, if you still haven't decided, let us give you a 30-day refund. And then brought this one in. So a marketing survey or study or whatever the hell it was that I read months ago, maybe a year or so ago, about landing pages. It showed that white males are almost a deterrent. So you have to have something female, something that offsets it in there. So I got rid of the background of our dude with the computer and gave us a black female, made her a little bit bigger. She's making eye contact where he's not. She's going to be the draw. And posed a new question. This one goes right to the heart of it. You know, we're looking at bringing people in who have had problems or failures with a previous coaching experience. So I went right for the gullet. And then everything else is the same. Jim, I took some liberty with your graphic and added just a little bit more training ads, copy, etc. Another thing that it may not have been that same study. It may have been another one that I read. I've consumed so much of that shit lately I can't keep them straight. That zeros are also a deterrent. So people don't like to see zeros. It's too final. That's why car dealerships never have a $10,000 car. They have a $9,999 car. They don't use zeros. So I did the same, but this time I omitted our 5,000. Tell them they gotta come talk to us. Right. But here's the caveat: I've got to do something different here for mobile. That's on my to-do list today, because this stacks underneath this one. So the arrow doesn't point where we want it to point. So I gotta do a different setup for mobile on this one. And then just because I like my ugly fucker with pink, I thought I would give it a try. Why not? It's a split test, right? And again, I shouldn't have used the white male, but that's just what was on there, what I found in Canva that day, and you know, it just shows my bias, my buyer's bias. It's what I gravitate toward. I have a hard time. Decorating my pages with folks that I don't resonate with. And then a new initial question or statement, and time to get in the game. The same kindergarten, the same breakdown and flow, and the same 3 calls to action. So that's what I did there. Now, let me show you what I did in Google. I excluded all of our non-lander URLs. We have a lander clone that we haven't done anything with down at the bottom. And I think we have the old lander in here. I think I left that in there. But I wanted Google to send to those 3 or 4 landing pages. So instead of having them go to a prescribed lander and then doing a split test, we're going to all 4 landers just until we get momentum, until we start getting responses. We know that these landers work. We know that I took liberties again, Jim. I apologize, bro. Took liberties again.
Don't even apologize.
All right.
This stuff looks great.
Right.
I love it. I love the look.
Okay. I simplified. All right. Trim some fat out of it, just so we can get responses. We can always add more as we're getting responses. As we start getting engagement, we can add more. But I trimmed it up. But now that we know these are all going where we want them to go, I figured let's just open the floodgates, because we don't know where the hell they're going. We know that we're getting clicks. We know that we're getting engagement. But where the fuck are they going? We've got good performance on the business development coach ad and the 6-month coaching program. You know, those things are looking good. Not Your Mama's Coaching is our best performer so far. In addition to new model of mastermind and learn how to correct your problems with your business. Long headlines don't get shown as often as the short headlines. I think it's 1 to 3 or 1 out of 3 is the long headline. But that one's doing well. We have several goods in our long headlines. And then in our descriptors, let's discuss the problems. A bunch of my assets are not doing well, and I think it's because they're too dark. This one's performing well, but it's on a white background. This one is flashy. And then our old one is performing well. Color always helps. So those are doing well. And yeah, you can see all that. My YouTube video is doing okay. My YouTube video, short 10-second YouTube video for mobile, is doing the best. And this little 15-second YouTube slideshow is doing okay. So our cost per click has gone up. We're getting good engagement. I just could not determine where the fuck they were going. So that's why I got rid of the URL in Google and just opened up the floodgate to send them to all of our landing pages, just so they're going somewhere. That we're funneling them, right? We're funneling them. Then we can, once we start getting engagement and getting report back through the tags manager on those sites, on those pages, then tags manager, we can go back and look at tags manager to see which one is getting the most engagement, pick that one as our primary, and then split test with the offshoots. Questions, comments?
Asset performance with as many pieces as there are, and with the data that we have thus far, is there any benefit in narrowing those down to just the best performers, or is it still too early to kind of mess around with that?
I think it's too early, and not only that, so Google's funny. The more assets you have, the better Google places you.
Okay.
and because they feel that you're trying to engage. And Google will actually throttle the assets that aren't serving you as well.
So it's better on Google to just throw the kitchen sink at it.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay.
it is. This is, whereas Facebook's like cooking a lobster bisque. This is minestrone. All right, you can throw fucking everything in there and still call it soup. Yeah. Good morning, Brian. All right.
Awesome.
Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, bitches? Let me hear them.
Not for me. Going through this and that explanation about Google Assets is really helpful. And then for me, the landing pages look great. All of them do. Are we in a be patient and analyze mode at this point? That's what it seems like to me.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. I believe that where we are right now is exactly that. Where we are right now is where we wanted to be back in November. We've got shit rolling. We're getting word out there. We're tagging people that show interest. Those are going into our assets. We're retaining their IPs. We're setting a cookie. And so as we refine, Google's going to retarget them every time that we make a change, every time we refine and read our analytics and do something new. Google's going to send our revised ad back in front of them. So yeah, this is our time to be patient with this. I think this would be a great time to maybe work a little more, put some attention on our curriculum. If we want to start getting weeks ahead in that, because Jim did a fabulous job setting up the layout of the landers. He's got us on a great start there. Now it's literally just an hour or so a day of reading analytics and tweaking. Google Tags Manager may come back and tell me that the ugly fucker with the pink background doesn't do anything. It turns people off. So we'll dump the ugly bastard and we'll put on a new one. It's just a cloning the page and creating a new header in Canva and launching a new page. And when you go into Kartra, you'll see that I've got them named. I've got a Lander B and a Lander B2 and a Lander C. We just need to keep on that trend, so we can keep them distinguished, and just delete them out of there when they're a non-performer. Don't reassign the letter. Delete them out of there.
Given how Google's going to send people to different landers and this be patient and wait kind of, let things happen and do the analytics, how much time needs to go by for analysis before Lander C3, Lander D1, Lander A2, or whatever that looks like?
I did I think I've done a lander, not a lander a day since we last talked. But man, we can be doing this every day. We can be doing this every 3 days. I've maintained our budget at $10 a day. Don't want to exceed that because we're getting activity, but we're not creating any accounts. So at $10 a day, that's given us about 11 clicks. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We can discern quite a bit off of that. Most people doing what we're doing, they have about a 3% conversion rate. That's in conversions. That's who becomes a client, not conversion out of the ad, but a paying conversion rate. I think at 11 clicks, if we could have 10% of that going through the system and getting to the point where they're going to schedule a call with us, getting to that page, I think that's the target right now. We're losing them somewhere though, and it's pretty evident we're losing them in landing. So let's get to that. Analyze this, add landers, whatever, as much as we need to. Whereas with Google, I've eliminated URLs. We can add as many landing pages as we want now without telling Google to direct them to it. Because Google's got to direct them to the site and pick a page that is not listed. So we can add as many landers as we want. We don't even have to follow that same pattern. We can create a whole new subset of lander if we like, and do a much grander split test. So we can do that as much as we like right now, as long as we clone it from one of these landers. Don't start brand new. Clone it so that you have the tags in there, so that it imports the Google tracking tags and the SEO with it, and then change it up however your heart desires. It doesn't cost us a damn thing. This, in my experience, this is where it gets fun. This is where it starts getting fun. Because, man, you can play with whatever you want. The Ain't Your Mama's coaching, we've got pretty good numbers off of that. Dude, we can create a lander that just plays with people, that just make it fun, make it engagingly comical. Why the fuck not? Let's see how it does. You're not married to any of them. So this is where it really starts to get fun, because this is where you really start engaging with your clients. This is where we start making an impact and start brand recognition. I would go so far as to say, man, we need to, individually maybe record just some engaging lander video. Just each of us individually. We don't have to do it collectively. Just individually. You can make a small header, a small engaging header, as long as it sticks with brand, and then give your own video on why they should do this, and speak to your audience the way you speak to your audience in your Facebook groups, and etc. Because these are people that we're importing. These are the ones that have come from you. So talk to them personally. Why not? Because this is like I said, this is where we start brand recognition. So you do as much of that as you want. Like I said, it doesn't cost us anything. But as soon as we start getting that, as soon as we start getting them past those little hiccup points, we're losing them at landing. We're losing them on landing. Why are they crashing and burning? Why aren't they going through? We're not even getting. Last time I looked, we weren't even getting any visits to the schedule page. So let's correct that. And this is how this cuts out so many variables. So let's correct that, but create landers if you want. Come in and analyze this. Look at shit that's working. And if you see something that's working and you want to build on that, then build a new asset based off of something that's already working. That cohort one with all the colors, with the little square colors, that one seems to be performing really well. That one's getting a lot of attention. Throw that in a background on another image and put it on a lander. To see if that continues attraction. Think of clients like a moth. Okay? You gotta create a flame. You gotta create a light to attract the moth. Okay? You gotta putting a candle in your window. They're gonna come up to the window, but the minute they realize they can't get to where they need to go, they're gonna divert, right? So the light needs to continually get brighter and brighter and brighter to keep their attention. So behind the candle, you've got to have something brighter that they're going to try to get to. This may be a shit analogy. It's not quite coming out the way I had it articulated in my brain. What's that?
It's not soup.
Yeah, it's not soup. It's not soup.
I was thinking fish.
Okay. Fish, okay. All right, fish. I like it.
Just in terms of, you've got all these lures that, will attract a certain fish, but even then, time of day, weather conditions, all of those things affect. So you have to use a different lure for each one to catch the same thing. So it's almost like the different condition that the audience may be in. They may be in this big bucket of the audience that we're trying to target, but based on their specific condition of where they're at, you're going to need a different lure, i.e. different landing pages.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Much better analogy. Yeah. Much better analogy. But I think the point that I'm getting at is, man, they have natural drivers at this point in time. And you got to appeal to those natural drivers. What is their what is their survival dependent on? And that's what you got to speak to. You got to speak to the survival. It's instinctual at this point. We're not talking to a discerning decision maker. It's survival driven. So we just have to find out what appeals to that survivor.
Work on landers. And this is a bit of a tangent from the original. I'll say the original. Where the conversation was going earlier with working on curriculum. So with where let's how much time is it? Working on curriculum. Where do we think we need the most attention?
Jim, I'll defer to you. I haven't even looked.
That's a great question.
And let me flesh it out just a little bit more. Do we want to do more with, and I think this is more where I'm going, how far ahead do we want to be looking? Or is there things within month one, for example, that we want to really dive into? Or are we trying to get ahead month over month? I think that's more where I was going.
Yeah, I think ultimately, end goal is month over month. We want to be as far ahead as we can. But to your point, month one is probably where we really need to focus on, make sure we have, hit them in the face, overload them with value. And that first month should stick around for month two and beyond. Otherwise, we don't get a paycheck. That's just my opinion. And I know Troy, you sent over a crap ton of stuff that we didn't get to rebrand yet. I'm going out into Canva right now and starting to pull some of that over into, and you have it in Canva, but what I'm doing is I'm pulling it into our curriculum folder. So maybe that's the place we start at. And just start rebranding that and trying to figure out where we want to put it in the curriculum. So maybe your point, Matt, because there's so much out there that Troy's already done, so we're not recreating the wheel. Why don't we catalog everything that we already have, figure out where it fits best in the curriculum, and then go back to month one and start to really refine what month one looks like, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. And I think if I have a question, it's when we say deliver a crap ton of value, are we speaking specifically around those assets that need to be rebranded? Are we talking about curriculum talking points? Are we talking about those assets with videos to go along with it? I guess I'm trying to understand the scope by which we're going to dedicate to month one. I agree completely. Month one is critical, absolutely critical for these people that come in and get them to stay. The two things I always worry about when it comes to these kinds of things is overwhelm. And, is it too much? Like, hey, we're going to give you a library of assets that you can pull from that we will reference from time to time. It's all in the members section, and then they get in the members section, and it's the Library of Congress in there, and it's like, I don't remember the Dewey Decimal System, so I don't even know where to begin. That kind of thing. So.
Yeah, and I think that's where what we want to try to do is unlock the membership as time goes on. So we give them access, and presumably they'll get access when they first sign on. And we want to wait like 2 weeks or whatever till they get access to maybe month one or month two or whatever. So we can do that in Cohort to make sure they're not jumping ahead and not getting too overwhelmed. But to your point, as far as what we want to do in month one, I think we go back to what our original intent was. We're assuming they're coming in with an offer, with a funnel, with a work, something that's working, but it's just not working. So, I'm wondering, do we want to make sure that whatever we give them in that month one is going to help them get a working funnel, make sure their funnel is actually, it's a good offer, it's good branding. So if we go back to branding and go back to, basically what we're doing right now with our website, we're troubleshooting, we're getting folks, with our Google ad, is that what we want to be doing with them? And then what kind of, to your point, Matt, what kind of limited material do we want to give them to help them get to that point? So at the end of month one, they have a good working, viable funnel that they can really start dumping ad money into then, or copy and start doing. Because I guess we wanted to do was coming out of month one, it was setting up an offer, more market, product funnel, ad created. I think was our original goal for them coming out of month one. So whatever we give them from a freebie perspective, I think this needs to tie back into that. And again, we don't need to give them like 20 different things in month one. So when I say crap ton, that might have been a bad choice of word. So just something valuable. Something that's valuable that's going to get them to their goal. Because if they don't hit the goal, it doesn't matter what. To your point, whatever we give them, if we overload them, we're no better than what Osher's been doing, frankly. So we need to make it purposeful in whatever we're selecting and giving to them. But at the same time, we need to make sure that they see that we're actually giving them value and not just jumping on the call for 30 minutes and then letting them talk for 30 minutes. So at the end of the day, they have nothing to walk away with. So we're going to have some from a weekly perspective of here's a homework, here's a training video on what you should be working with this week to make sure that come next week you've seen progress and you're getting closer to your goal. So whatever that looks like at the end of the day. But
I think if I were a student, I would be looking for practical implementation.
The thing that I keep thinking about is like, all right, the month one goal for all of these people is to either make that dollar or make another one in a very intentional way that can be repeated. They may have made it before, and they may have just stumbled upon it. Like, that's happened to me. Like, I've just been doing the thing and throwing spaghetti at the wall, and maybe something will happen, and But I think that's the assets that would specifically, okay,